At the ongoing Intra-African Trade Fair in Cairo, Egypt, Arise Exchange anchor Boston Amofa had an exclusive interview with Olivia Alawuba, who's the Group MD and CEO of United Bank of Africa PLC. Let's take a listen.
You're just coming through from Saudi Arabia with the Saudi Africa conference, and I'm just thinking about this big deal, the Memorandum of Understanding with the Saudi Development Institution. Tell me more about it.
Okay, we just signed the Memorandum of Understanding, UBA, United Bank for Africa, and Saudi Exim Bank. We are focusing on exports of goods and services from Saudi Arabia to Africa and from Africa to Saudi Arabia. We are focusing on building partnership of economic cooperation between Africa and Saudi Arabia. And as you know, UBA is present in 20 African countries. And UBA is also present in 4 financial centers of the world. The Saudi Exim Bank is the premier export promotion agency for Saudi Arabia. And we think the two institutions can collaborate. Collaboration to improve goods and services between Saudi Arabia and Africa. Collaboration also in terms of economic development. The Saudis open up for business, and they're looking at Africa. And UBA, being present in 20 African countries, becomes that partnership that can lead that collaboration. You
opened up in UBA just about in the UAE just about a year ago, and in Dubai. And I'm just thinking whether Saudi Arabia is the next destination to host the flag of UBA. Is that happening anytime soon?
I can tell you we are collaborating at this stage, but we are not ruling out anything, because we believe there's an opportunity, huge opportunity for Africa in Saudi Arabia. And the way the government is running in Saudi Arabia, the way they're developing infrastructure, the way they're looking at partnership in Africa, UBA clearly believes that there are value that we can derive from that country, and we're looking at everything.
Tell me a little bit more about specifics of what you want to deliver in terms of bringing Saudi Arabia's economic and development onto the African continent. What would you be offering in specific terms?
In specific terms, we're looking at several sectors that UBA can collaborate with the Exim Bank. We're looking at agriculture. Agriculture is very important for Saudi Arabia. Today, Africa is contributing about only 5% of the food import of Saudi Arabia, and we can do more. We are trying to see how we can develop capacities within our continent in order to develop businesses that can leverage on this opportunity that Saudi Arabia is offering to Africans. So UBA comes in there. We are going to co-finance, we're going to co-insure, we're going to co-guarantee projects in Africa and in Saudi Arabia. We're going to share information in terms of our expertise in Africa, and also share the expertise in Saudi Arabia. We're also going to ensure we capacitize our staff towards doing deals between UBA in African countries and then Exim Bank in Saudi Arabia.
I have seen UBA, you had a very big splash at the Afrexim Bank annual meetings in Ghana a few months ago, earlier this year, and here you are again at the IATF, and I'm asking myself, what's the big deal for UBA in Cairo this time around?
You know, at that Exim meeting a few months ago, UBA signed an agreement with Afrexim. We also signed an agreement with AFTA for a $6 billion SME fund in the next 3 years. And today we are discussing with Afrexim on a different landscape. We think we can do a lot more with Afrexim. We think a lot more for Africa. And you're going to be hearing soon the kind of partnership, the kind of projects we are going to be initiating together and co-financing together for the benefit of Nigerians, for the benefit of Africans, wherever they are. As long as the discussion is about Africa, UB is on the table.
Tell me more about your recent financials for third quarter, 9 months of 2023, and what's the reflection of your Pan-African footprint bringing into your balance sheet?
We had a very fantastic third quarter result, and a lot of people have been commenting on that result. But that result is a reflection of the potential innate in UBA, particularly on the opportunities we see in the African market. Our businesses outside Nigeria are contributing, both in Africa and the rest of the world. they are doing great contributions to our financials because we are taking the moment in terms of the opportunities we see in Africa and in our international banking opportunities in the UK, in the US, and also in France and in UAE. And these are the impetus driving us to look at Saudi Arabia for opportunities. These are why we are signing the partnership with the Saudi Exim Bank, because we believe that there are huge opportunities for UBA in Africa and in the rest of the world.
I'm interested in where you're going next. You're in the Middle East, you're in Europe, you're in London, you're in the United States. When are you going to China? Are you going to Japan, Hong Kong? Where are you putting UBA next, globally?
You know, our strategic objective is really to bring Africa to the rest of the world, and to bring the world to Africa. And the world has recognized the potentials of Africa. China is talking to Africa, the US is talking to Africa, the UK is talking to Africa, and we need African institutions that will make that will drive the value to Africa. And that's where UBA is positioning. We are positioning to make sure that Africa is driving value from the rest of the world. So in terms of trade, in terms of investments, in terms of settlements, systems around our businesses. We're also promoting my market, promoting Africans to the rest of the world. So UBA is that bank that anyone that wants to deal with Africa has to go through. We are today in 20 African countries. We are today in other financial centers of the world, and we are growing. We are next. You will hear from us.